In this video, I am going to discuss to solve a sequencing problem processing n jobs through two machines. So there are given n jobs. Each job should process through two machines A and B in the order AB. So consider the example. There are 7 jobs, each of which has to go through two machines A and B in the order AB. So in the order AB means each job should process first on machine A. After completion, then it passes through the machine B. That is order of the machines. And the processing times in hours on each machine are given below. Jobs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Processing time on machine A for job 1 is 3 hours. For job 2 is 12 hours, like that. Processing time of job 1 on machine B is 8 hours. Job 2 on machine B is 10 hours, like that. So now we have to determine the sequence of jobs, that is order of jobs, that will minimize the total elapsed time. So total elapsed time is the time taken to bring out all these jobs, 7 jobs, processing through two machines A and B. So that is called as elapsed time, total elapsed time, that should be minimized. Okay. So sequencing problem is also minimization problem. Okay. Right. Next we find ideal times for machines on AB. So ideal time means the time for the machine at which it has no job to process. That is ideal time for the machine. Right. So to solve this problem, we use Johnson's algorithm method, processing n jobs through two machines. Okay. So what is the procedure? First step. So identify the smallest processing time among the machine A and machine B. In the entire table, identify the smallest processing time. Okay. So what is smallest processing time in the entire table? This is 1. So smallest processing time equal 1 for job 6 on B, machine B. So smallest processing time is 1 for job 6 on machine B. Since the order of machines is AB, order of the machines is AB, that means each job should process through first A and then B. Right. Now suppose the smallest processing time occur on machine A for a job, that job will process first. That means we place that job in first position of the sequence. Suppose the smallest processing time occur among the processing times on machine B for a job, then that job is placed in last position of the sequence. That means we process that job in last. Okay, so that is the procedure. Okay, right. Now for job 6, the processing time is minimum on machine B. So we place the job 6 in last position of the sequence. Okay, so list job 6 in last position. So in the sequence we have 7 places, since there are 7 jobs. So place job 6 in last position of the sequence. Okay, so then cross out this. Okay. So continue the same process for other jobs. Right. Next, in the remaining table, what is the smallest processing time? The smallest processing time is 3. So smallest processing time equal 3 for job 1 on A. Next another one for job 7 on B. Okay, so we have two minimum processing times for two jobs. Okay, for job 1 on A, for job 7 on B. Okay. So therefore we process job 1 first and job 7 last. That means we list job 1 in first position of the sequence, that is here, and we list job 7 in the last position of the sequence. Last position means in the remaining sequence, last position is this one, that is before 6. Before 6. Therefore, list job 1 in first place. List job 1 in first place. Next, list job 7 before, list job 7 before job 6. Okay. So next sequence is this is previous sequence. Now list job 1 in first place. This is 1. And job 7 before 6. This is 7. Cross off first job and 7th job. Okay. Right. Next, repeat the same process for the remaining jobs. Again, in the remaining table, the smallest processing time is 6 for job 4 on A and B, on both machines, on A and B. So, smallest processing time is for job 6, smallest processing time is 6 for job 4 on machine A and machine B. Okay. Right. So here we have tie for placing the job. Since the minimum processing time occur on A as well as B on both machines. So we have two options. The job 4 can be placed at first position of the sequence or in the last position of the sequence. Since the processing time is minimum, which occur on both machines A and B simultaneously. So here we get multiple optimal sequences. So we place the job 4 first position of the sequence, that is after first job here, or in the last position of the sequence, that is before job 7. So we can list job 4 either of these two places. So we get multiple optimal sequences. Okay. So therefore, list job 4 after job 1 or before job 7. So therefore we get multiple optimal sequences. So we get multiple optimal sequences. Okay. So write the sequences. These are the previous positions of the sequence. Now place job 4 after 1. This is one sequence. Place job 4 before job 7. This is one place. So these two are multiple sequences. Now cross off job 4. So continue the same process for remaining jobs. Fourth step. Again, smallest processing time the remaining jobs is 10. Smallest processing time equal 10 for job 5 on A. Again we have here 10 also. So for job 2 on B. Next for job 3 on B. Okay. So the minimum processing time is for 3 jobs. Job 5 and job 2, job 3. For job 5, the minimum processing time is on mission A. So therefore, we can list the job 5 in the first position of the sequence. So list job 5. List job 5 in the first position of the sequence. First position of the sequence means this position in this sequence and this position in this sequence. Okay, that means list job 5 after job 4 or after job 1. Okay, so this is okay, right? You have to draw the next sequences. Okay, so these are the previous sequences. Right now, list job 5 after 4. This is or after job 1. Okay, so now cross off job 5. Right. Now what about 2, 3? For jobs 2 and 3, we have the smallest processing time on machine B only. Okay, so there are more than one job having smallest processing time on the same machine. So in this case, we consider the processing times for jobs 2 and 3 on machine A and then take the minimum of those processing times. So the processing times for jobs 2 and 3 on machine A are 12 and 15. So minimum of these two is 12. So we consider the job 2. Then we process the job 2 last. That means we list the job 2 in the last position of the sequence. That means before 7 or before 4. Okay. Right. Now, minimum of processing times. Minimum of processing times of jobs 2 and 3. Jobs 2 and 3 on A equal minimum of 12, 15. For jobs 2 and 3, processing times on machine A is 12 and 13. So minimum of this is 12 for job 2. So therefore, list job 2. Since the processing time occurs on machine B, so I have to place in the last position. So list job 2 in the last position of the sequence, that is before 7 or before 4. Okay, so right here, fill here, before 7. List job 2 before 7. So this is 2 or before 4. This is 2. So cross off 2. Right. So finally we have only one job remaining and one position in the sequences. Okay, so fill that position of the sequence by job 3. Okay, this is 3. So we have multiple optimal sequences here. Therefore, multiple optimal sequences are 1, 4, 5, 3, 2, 7, 6. Next one, 1, 5, 3, 2, 4, 7, 6. These are the multiple optimal sequences. That means first we start with first job 1. First process it through machine A. After completion of job 1 on machine A, it processed to B. Then next job 4 will start. Next, after completion of 4 on A, 5 will start. So like that, this is one of the sequences, optimal sequences. And another sequence is this. Okay. Right. Now to find total elapsed time and ideal times for missions, consider this table. First column job sequence. Second column mission A, time in, that is starting time, time out, that is completion time on mission A. Similarly for mission B, time in, starting time, time out, completion time. Fourth column ideal time for mission B. So here we have multiple optimal sequences. So you can consider either of the sequences. So first consider the sequence 1, 4, 5, 3, 2, 7, 6. Or you can consider other sequence also. If you consider any sequence, you get the same total elapsed time. But ideal times for missions may be vary. So the final total elapsed time should be the same. Whether you consider this optimal sequence or another optimal sequence. Right. So first starting time for mission A, on mission A for job 1 is 0. Starting time is 0. And completion time or time out is starting time plus duration. 0 plus duration. Duration of job 1 on mission A is 3. So 0 plus 3, that is 3. So after completion of job 1 on A, it goes through mission B. That means timing for job 1 on mission B is this one. So after completion of job 1 on mission A, immediately it goes to mission B. So timing for mission B or timing on mission B is same as time out on mission A. So this is timing is 3. Next, time out on mission B is starting time 3 plus duration of job 1 on B is 8. That is 11. So we calculate ideal time for B later. Okay. Right. Next, come to next job, fourth job. So starting time for fourth job on mission A is once the previous job completed, then only the next job will start on mission A. The completion time of previous job on mission A is 3. So it is starting time for next job. Okay. So this comes here 3. Then 3 plus time out is starting time. 3 plus duration. Duration of job 4 on mission A 6. That is 9. Next. So what is the timing of job 4 on mission B? Right. The present job will process on mission B only after completion of the previous job. So what is the completion of previous job on mission B? 11 hours. So here job 4 completed on mission A at 9 hours. So job 4 still wait up to 11 hours. since the completion of previous job on machine B is 11 hours, so this job 4 should wait up to 11 hours. So timing for job 4 on machine B is maximum of these two. Maximum of these two values, that is 11. Maximum of these two values. Okay. So 11 is starting time for job 4 on machine B. Then timeout is starting time 11 plus duration of job 4 on machine B 6. That is 17. Okay, right. Next job 5. What is timing for job 5 on machine A? Previous job completed at 9 hours. So that is timing for job 5. Next timeout. Starting time 9 plus duration of job 5 on machine A, that is 10. So 90. Okay, right. Next. What is timing for job 5 on machine B? Okay. So previous completion time is 17. Job 5 completed on A at 19 hours. So maximum of these two is 90. So here we have the ideal time for machine B. So the previous job is completed on machine B at 17 hours. Next job is started at 19 hours. That means 2 hours. These 2 hours, the machine B is ideal. Okay. So we calculate that later after completion of the table. Okay. So this is the timing for job 5 on machine B. Then timeout is 19 plus duration of job 5 on machine B 12. That is 31. Right. Next, job 3. So here timing is 19. So 19 plus duration of job 3 on machine A 15. So 34. So maximum of these two is 34. 34 plus duration. Duration of job 3 on B 10. So that is 44. Next here for job 2 time 34. 34 plus duration of job 2 on machine A 12. 46. So maximum of these two 46. 46 plus duration of job 2 on machine B 10. 56. Next, this is 46. 46 plus duration of job 7 on machine A 9. 55. Right. Maximum of these two 56. 56 plus duration of job B on duration of job 7 on machine B 3. So 59. Then starting time of job 6 on A is 55. 55 plus duration of job 6 on machine A 11. 66. So maximum of these two, it is 66. 66 plus duration of job 6 on machine B 1. It is 67. Okay, so therefore the time when the last job completed on machine B is 67 hours. So that is total elapsed time. Total elapsed time is called 67 hours. So the time when the last job completed on machine B is total elapsed time, that is 67 hours. That means the total time to bring out all these 7 jobs is 67 hours. So this is the minimum time required. Okay. If you follow the jobs in this order, in 67 hours, all these jobs bring out from the 2 machines. So that is minimum duration. Right. Now to find ideal times. First we find ideal time for machine B in each step. At first starting position, in first here, what is the ideal time for machine B? till the completion of first job on machine A, the second machine is in ideal. Okay, so what is the time for the first job start on machine B? That is 3. So up to 3 hours the machine B is ideal. Okay. So here ideal time for machine B is 3. Next step, ideal time for in the next step. Right. So here. So what is the completion of previous job? 11 hours. Here what is starting of next job? 11. So difference of these two. No ideal time here. So ideal time for B is the completion of previous job minus the starting of present job. That gives ideal time for machine B. Here completion of previous job is 11 hours, starting of present job is 11 hours, so there is no gap. So ideal time for B in this case is 0. Next, here previous job completion 17, present job starting 19. So here there is a difference. So ideal time is 2. This is difference of these two. Okay. Similarly here previous job completion 31, present job starting 34, difference of these two, 3. Here 46 minus 44, 2. Here 56, no ideal time. Here 66, 59, so difference 7. So these are the ideal times at each stage. So therefore, first, before that, we have to write ideal time for machine A. Ideal time for A. So, when the machine A is ideal. So, the difference between the total elapsed time and the time when the last job completed on machine A. So, the last job completed on machine A is 66 hours. And total elapsed time is 67 hours. So from 66 hours to 67 hours, the machine A is ideal. So there is no job to process through machine A. So this is the ideal time for machine A. So 67 minus total elapsed time, 67 minus time when last job completed on machine A. That is 66. That is 1 hour. So ideal time for A is 1 hour. Next, ideal time for B is sum of all these values. 17 hours. Okay, so the total elapsed time is 67 hours. Ideal time for machine A is 1 hour. Ideal time for machine B is 17 hours. So we have two optimal sequences here. I have calculated total elapsed time and ideal times for A and B using this optimal sequence. Try yourself to find total elapsed time and ideal times for machine A and B by taking the other optimal sequence. Okay, so in that case, you should have to get only, that is, you have to get only 67 hours for total elapsed time. The total elapsed time is minimum, it should be unique. Okay, but the ideal times for machines A and B may vary. You may get different ideal times for A and B. So, but you get the total elapsed time as 67 hours.